Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety. Net call. Supply drop incoming.
The baby boomers, the black baby boomers, they lived in a land of make-believe their entire lives. Their entire existences have been
Professor Black Truth.
That's what's defined their existences. They threw away what chance they had to lay a foundation for their children, and they have been habitual aspirants to be socially accepted by whites.
Oh shit! Oh!
Further collapse expected. Travel to indicated safe zone.
Watching white kids on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh, he hit me from way over there. What in the fuck?
They wanted, back in the 50s and 60s, they wanted to be Annette Funicello. And a lot of the black males, they wanted to be God knows what. But that's what the black baby boomers
hit me
were
from
about.
way over
They
there.
were trying to figure out how do we get accepted to the white
The fuck? Oh my god.
club. Can I be a member of this white church?
Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
That's what they were chasing. As for power, wealth, and influence, what we got to worry about is pimping hoes and slamming Cadillac doors. The black baby boomer women were trying to find a way to get attention by being the next wannabe Raquel Welch, or Farrah Fawcett, or whomever, or Elizabeth Taylor. And the black men were trying to figure out how to be Superfly. That's what they were focusing on. Power, wealth, influence. We ain't got to worry about that. We'll just focus on integration, and white power is going to incorporate us into their machine. Yeah, because they've been doing that for the previous 400 years, right? Baby boomers are the absolute masters of living vicariously, and that's the problem. When Barack Obama won office, they all got to imagine that they were him, because that's the daydream delusion that they've been having. So Joe Biden doesn't have black support. He has the old, wrinkled up, decrepit black elders. That's the black folk he's got. Those old black folk who always turn out for the polls and who always lose too. You're not getting to the White House unless you can galvanize the young black vote. That's the vote that Joe Biden doesn't have on lock. But it's Charlemagne and the breakfast schlub's job to help deliver, or rather deceive, the young black vote into the Democrat Party's clutches, the left hand of white supremacy. That's his job. Get these young black folks back onto the treadmill. Get them to get excited about politicians who have already told you we ain't doing nothing for you. That's the thing that we've done as the black media. We have brought clarity to the elections. We're forcing people to go on the record. We're making it where you don't get to duck and dodge the question. We're getting in their faces and making it where black interests are at the forefront of the discussion. And they try the old dodge about, well, I got a LIFT program that's going to help families making less than $100,000.
Nah, hell no.
Yeah, in other words, it's going to be just a one-sided one-size-fits-all policy that applies to everyone and does nothing to close the racial wealth gap. So it doesn't do it. But this
I
is what
tell
they're
people
proposing. And you don't see
about these reparations years ago. I heard some people say, "Oh, that's a pipe dream." Now, you better put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's the talk of the town now.
I think parenting is rich, you know, that's a specific black agenda,
Take that EMP.
Did you see how Don Lemonade tossed around the phrase black agenda? Who was it who put that on the map, Don? Who defined what that is? Definitely not Charlemagne.
Get him, Charles.
The breakfast schlubs. They talk about smoking weed, hip-hop beefing, who's sleeping with who. That's the level of
Hip-hop fever?
That's not a black agenda, but it is the class and caliber of conversation.
Mission clock is running. Go, go, go.
I'm sorry, Don.
Line bay is open. Deployment ready. Maneuvering on mission deployment path.
You're not going to sit here and drop a little bit of black power lingo. And apparently, that's supposed to make us go, oh, I should listen to Don Lemonade. And he's got a TV show, and he's talking just like the black media does. No, you're going to need to try a hell of a lot harder than that. If you're kind to think that you are somehow Finally, they get to it. After tiptoeing around the issue and trying to, first of all, establish some sort of counterfeit legitimacy for Charlemagne.
No more bullshit. I'm winning this.
Oh, he's so serious. Candidates, if they come to breakfast slugs, they know that they're going to have to answer the tough questions. Yeah, like, do you smoke weed? Who you sleeping with? Those tough
Come on,
questions.
drop on in.
And after trying to push the idea that Charlemagne is some sort of deep thinker on politics, then Don Lemonade gets to what he really wants to ask about, which is the endorsement. Come on, it's time to sell the soap.
There you go, motherfucker.
Finally, Charlemagne says that he likes all the things.
Sit rep. Potential collapse detected. Relocation to indicated safe zone is advised.
Feeble mention to Pete Buttigieg's so-called Frederick Douglass plan. Have you taken a look at Buttigieg's so-called plan? Half of what's in his so-called plan doesn't address the black wealth gap. He proposes nothing but more public sector jobs. That's all he proposes. In other words, more teachers, more postal workers and such. Nothing.
Somebody's asking lit.
Own. Let me tell you something, folks. It's not even so half of Pete Buttigieg's proposals are nothing more than just some public sector jobs for black folks, and the other half of his empty proposals are general programs that apply to black folks, white folks, brown folks, yellow folks, and everything in between. Like student loan debt. Particularly black females have a lot of student loan debt, and that's the intended audience for. When they mention student loan debt, it's black women, because more black women
started off so good.
Than black men. So that's who it's meant to appeal to. They're dropping something like that and hoping that black females' ears will perk up. We need young black people to have businesses that their families own, so that when they get out of high school, before they're out of high school, they're already prepared to have a business, not a job, a business. Something that they can immediately own, just like their white peers do. You could forgive all the student loan debt for black students today, and they would have nothing more than degrees that are worthless. Most of those kids graduate from college or from trade schools or specialty schools or what have you. In too many cases, I shouldn't say trade schools. At least trade schools are useful. But the ones coming out of these colleges and universities, especially the historically black ones, they got a degree that's worthless. By and large, because the businesses have packed up and moved to places where they can pay degreed workers less money. And these black graduates, they don't have access to the capital that they need to start their own businesses. So it's great that you would make it where they don't have that school debt on their shoulders. That's fine, but the problem happens to be you're not solving the heart of the problem. Why is it that the student loan debt is such an insurmountable problem? What's the real heart of the crisis? The problem is not merely the outrageous price of school tuition, though that is a problem. The real problem is that the students come from families and communities where they never had a chance to have money to pay for school to begin with.
Hell
The
yeah.
reason that these students have to resort to loans, in fact, the reason that a lot of them wind up
Ponzi scheme like a
college and
motherfucker.
so-called higher education as their last hope is because their communities have been robbed of the business opportunities that black families need to sustain their communities. That's the problem. The problem isn't that we don't have enough degree professionals. The problem is that we don't have businesses in our
nobody wants
communities
to go against
sustain
capitalism.
these degree
They're
professionals.
too scared of what
We
comes
don't have the
after.
capital and resources. That's what needs to be solved. But that's what's also left out of Pete Buttigieg's so-called plan. And he puts Frederick Douglass's name on there. Yeah, they love name-dropping black folks, just like Kamala Harris. I guess Pete Buttigieg decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and steal a couple of pages from her playbook. Oh, let's talk about Shirley Chisholm.
I love
I'm going
this
to make
dude,
my announcement
Professor
on
Black
MLK
Truth.
Day, and I guess Pete Buttigieg figured, okay, MLK Day's been taken. Might as well.
So we
try
got good
Frederick
dudes out here
Douglass instead.
speaking, you know, even
Black
if it ain't on
people,
the scriptures. You
black
got good
graduates
dudes
need
out here
things that they own,
speaking. This dude's
that they
elite.
control, that they can pass down.
Take
You
that.
can't pass down Pete Buttigieg's job as a teacher. Oh, Pete Buttigieg's going to make it where they can hire some more postal workers. Great. That will keep you afloat, but the problem is you can't pass down your postal worker job. As black people, we had plenty of black teachers in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And now they're closing
Classify
down
the mission
all the
area.
schools. That's what happens to black teachers.
Lifter 1-1 now maneuvering on mission deployment path. Fail when ready.
$30 billion is going to solve the trillions of dollars of wealth inequity that we're suffering from. Then you got to be smoking something stronger than weed. You know, I got a better idea. Rather than Pete Buttigieg calling himself telling us what he thinks we need, why doesn't the bastard simply listen to what we tell him we need and then do it? How about that?
How about that?
And Charlemagne has the nerve to praise Elizabeth Warren. Can you believe that crap? Can you believe the gall?
All
of this
these black
guy?
frauds are being
We've
called
got
out. I love it.
video of a brother who confronted Elizabeth Warren on reparations and asking her, will she write the check?
Oh
And
shit.
her answer was, check for what? But Charlemagne thinks she's good. This is precisely the kind of empty-headed Negro that the white media wants on their payroll. That's the reason why they decided not to get rid of him. Hell, a fool like this would be hard to find. Finding another person this stupid, that'd be a hell of a treasure hunt. If you've been listening to this clown for any amount of time, then this is the mindset that you've been allowing to influence your thinking and waste your time.
Potential collapse
He is
detected.
right about one thing,
Advise
though.
relocation
This is the
to
first time the
indicated
Democrats have
safe
been
zone.
pressed to present a black agenda. No thanks to you, Charlemagne. You had nothing to do with that. When you had these presidential candidates on your show, all you could think about was weed, Chick-fil-A, and who's Cory Booker dating. You didn't press them on a black agenda. You asked one clearly insincere question to Kamala Harris, and then you moved right along. You asked that question about reparations at 80 miles an hour, just like Big Bird did when he had Kamala on
Net
his
call.
now
Supply drop
defunct
incoming.
radio show.
Big
You
bird.
weren't making a black agenda issue, Charlemagne. You just wanted to say the phrase one time and then move right on because you didn't want to offend the white and brown audience by actually pressing something that's in the interest of black people. And no, black people didn't just start asking this year what the black agenda was. It's only that this year, people like Don Lemonade and Charlemagne couldn't ignore it anymore. It had grown too loud. Because the groundwork that we've been setting in place for over a decade, we now had a critical mass of black people who were saying the same thing that we were saying. We had now gotten a sufficient number of black folks on the same page. That's the only thing that changed. The new voices of black media have been pushing this issue for over a decade. It's just that the white media figured out that we put some pain on them. They could no longer ignore it or pretend to ignore it after the 2016 election when we dampened black voter turnout, and in 2018 when we reduced the blue wave to a blue ripple.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
Of a black agenda to the forefront because you didn't have any of the white media's black bootlicks like Roly Poly doing it. Everybody else was sitting there asking Hillary Clinton whether or not she had some hot sauce. Or you had Roly-Poly out there dancing a jig. That's what they were doing.
Roly-Poly.
Asking about weed and who's sleeping with who and hot sauce.
Yeah,
that's what the old black media was doing. That's what these fakers, frauds, and phonies were doing. And here Charlemagne and his gang of reprobates are trying to act like they were part of this, when they were the main ones who were trying to stop it. They didn't put forward a black agenda. They've been the main ones trying to stonewall it and deflect it, and they're still hard at work trying to do it now. So don't try to do this serious talk, Charlemagne, and don't try to do it either, Don Lemonade. Besides, it sounds ridiculous coming out of your forked tongues. And it doesn't, and Charlemagne's speech impediment ain't the only reason why it sounds silly coming from him. And by the way, this clown's been saying that he wants Kamala to be the nominee since forever now. He didn't just do it this week. This ain't new. But the fact that he knows her record,
I know you're up here.
the fact that he is well aware of her 30-year non-stop war on black people, and even after all that, after you've had the black media out here piling up her mountain of sins and crimes against the black community, Charlemagne still has the nerve to say he wants her in the White House. That is unforgivable. Then he tries to pretty up his brain fart by saying, Trump setting the stage for the first woman president. Well, I guess nobody told Charlemagne that white women voted for Trump by a margin of 2-1. And as for woman of color, I thought that Kamala Harris was black. And yet Charlemagne didn't call her a black woman. He said setting the stage for a woman.
Ha! Laid his ass down. Oh!
Tulsi Gabbard. Interesting, don't you think? So he's talking about a woman of color, but Kamala didn't present herself to us as a woman of color. At least she hasn't been trying to deceive us into that. She said that she and her sister were black, and that's why they couldn't play with the white kids. Yeah, she said said we were black one time and ain't said it since. Charlemagne's sitting here calling her a woman of color. You see what's happening? These guys are so busy with their white supremacist talking points, with the talking points that were given to them by their white handlers, that they can't keep the talking points consistent. Not consistent enough to give a message that sticks. The message keeps changing. And all we have to do is keep reminding black people we are black. We are not people of color. That's all we got to do while they're over here vacillating and going back and forth and flip-flopping. You're a person of color one day, black the next. Charlemagne knows full well that he can't really put the label black on Kamala Harris. He wants to be real careful about doing that. Because after all, the casual racist vote, you know, the white moderates, they keep hearing her say she's black too much, and they're like, I wonder what she thinks about those black media types, those black empowerment types, talking about reparations and stuff. She keeps saying she's black. That's kind of unsettling. So, people of color. Yeah, a nice, watered-down, diluted term that can mean anything you want it to mean. So, if you ever wondered what purpose chumps like Charlemagne and the breakfast schlubs serve, it's to mislead black people, particularly young people. You follow someone like this at your own peril. Charlemagne and his pals are only looking out for themselves. They got their nice little paycheck from a nice little white media company with a nice little black audience talking about just inconsequential nonsense.
Damn, bro, I
garbage
can't see
talk,
shit.
and they're good with that. Well, that might be good enough for Charlemagne and the breakfast schlubs, but the question is that good enough for black people? Is that good enough for those of us who survived American slavery and are still going through it today?
Yeah.
Be advised. Further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone.
You saw what kind of interview he gave. By the way, those are some of the highlights. I really wish I could say it gets better. Some of the other stuff was better, but no, it didn't get better from there. That pretty much is an accurate reflection of the kind of talk that you get from the breakfast schlubs when it comes time to talk about presidential politics. That is pretty much an accurate reflection of how those interviews went. So is that what's in your interest? Do you sit around all day going, yeah, I know that the black community is being gutted through gentrification. Yeah, I know we're being strangled for resources, but I really want to know. Cory Booker
Somebody had their eyes on me the whole damn
yeah,
time.
I know that they're mass incarcerating black people. And yeah, I know that they're weaponizing the law against us. And yeah, I know the police can murder us with impunity. They've been killing black folks in the streets. And now it's gotten so bad that any non-black citizen can just walk up to a black person, blow you away, and claim, oh, well, the police, I was afraid for my life, just like the police do. That's them signaling that, hey, we're all on the same team, remember? I may not have a badge, but we're all on the team to kill these niggers. See, that's what Charlemagne thinks about.